Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. Thank you for joining us for another Scrap September layout. Today's prompt is stitching, and I thought I would go all out with the stitching prompt. And
hi everyone, Jess here. So I just wanted to pop in and show you this gorgeous cut file that I will be using for this process video. So this is the stitched prompt, as you can see, and I am using a Paige Evans free cut file. And so the way it works is she's designed it so when you run it through your silhouette, it pierces all of the stitching holes, so you don't have to do any of the paper piercing yourself. It does all that for you. Now it can be a little bit tricky to then know where to cut, where to sew, because it's just like 1,000 million holes all over your page. Now if you have a newer silhouette, you can put the pencil in and you can get it to draw the picture for you first and then get it to cut it for you second. I don't have one of those silhouettes though. I've got a Cameo 2, which means I'd have to buy the extra feature to do the pencil thing, and I don't have that. So what I did, it's gonna be very hard to see, but what I did was I got a grey lead and I pulled up the original image and I just used my grey lead to draw the outline. I don't think you can see that at all, but I lightly drew the outline around each one of the flowers so that when I was stitching them, I knew exactly where the stitch lines needed to go. And I found that was a really helpful way to do the stitching, and it got the stitching done a lot quicker because I didn't need to keep referring back to the image on my computer or anything like that. I could just stitch wherever I was. And one of those days was sitting in the car for 3 hours while little man had a big snooze when we weren't at home. So you can see when I flipped it over that I seal off all my ends using washi tape, mostly because I don't want the added bulk by tying a knot. Because I use so many different colors in this one, like each flower has 3 different colors, I ended up with quite a few more ends than I usually would when I'm stitching. So I will actually cover this whole back with a whole new piece of paper, just so it slides easily into the plastic pocket and it doesn't get caught, like the washi tape doesn't get caught on the pockets or anything like that, and just to make sure it's a nice and smooth process. So I'm going to put you into fast forward mode now and get started with actually doing the process of embellishing such a busy page. And I'll tell you now, I'm going to keep the embellishments really simple because I want the stitching to be the focal point. So I'm going to go into voiceover mode and I will continue on with the scrapping process.
I'm back in voiceover mode, and I wanted to introduce you to the amazing Khristina, who is also playing along with stitching for our guest designer for this day's prompt. I have got her Insta and her YouTube link down below. Definitely head on over to her channel and check her out. She has got so much going on her channel. She's got making kits, killing kits with style. She just did a series with Sarah Scraps about documenting fear. She's just got like layout videos, process videos, just so much. She does some really nice and short videos too. If you've only got a spare like 5 minutes, you can check a whole layout that she does in that time, which I just love because I actually don't often have a lot of time for watching. So I love being able to sneak in a little process video in a small amount of time. So definitely pop on over to her. Links in the description box down below. So as I mentioned in my live section of this video, I really wanted to keep the embellishing really minimal. So I am using the Mimosa Sundays collection from Rosie's Studio, which if you're from Australia, you can buy in the Reject Shop. And I sort of pre-organized what I wanted to do in this, as you can probably guess, because it was quite a quick decision making. Basically, I just went through the collection and pulled out the things that I liked, and then split them in 2, so a bird on each side, a peach on each side, you know, a little flourish on each side, and then just lined them up down the side of the photograph. So it was really quite simple. I didn't so much as lay all the info, like all of the pieces out before I started recording this video. I just it kept it really easy. So it was really easy to do. Amazing. I often overthink these busy background layouts, even if it's not stitching. The layouts themselves are quite busy. I often overthink them, and then the layout just gets bigger and bigger and crazier, and I get disappointed with what it ends up as. So this time I reminded myself of that and have kept it simple, and I'm so thrilled with how this turned out. So I've just got a really cute little picture of my boy there. I actually have a photo. You may have already seen this layout where I've used this photo before for my family album, and I created a layout of a side-by-side photograph of my eldest son and my youngest son, pretty much doing the exact same pose at the exact same age. And it was just really cute to see the boys looking so similar, because they are really quite different, and I really like it. It's a cute photo. So I'm busily with this September series trying to bash my way through my youngest son's 1 year album. So when my boys are born, I scrapbook 1 year. So Jack's got a 1 year album and Thomas will have a 1 year album. And then I just do a family album because I find it too hard to keep up otherwise. And it's not necessarily about keeping up to date, but it just you get overwhelmingly behind, and I kind of forget why did I take that photo after a while. So I quite like being able to keep up to date ish and keep my journaling up to the minute, so that I know why I took that photo at the time, what was important about it. So as I mentioned, I'm using the Mimosa Sundays collection, and so all I bought at the Reject shop was the 6x6 paper pad and the ephemera pack. There is more bits and bobs that go with that collection, but I just decided to keep it simple. Now, if you're in Australia at the Reject shop, it's about $3 and $4 for those things. So you can get away with getting the ephemera pack and the 6x6 paper pad for under $10. I'm fairly sure. Please don't quote me, but I'm fairly sure. Which I just think is a really nice price. And there's a lot you can do with that, and not having to, go too over the top to spend too much money. What else can I tell you? Oh, I'm going to back my photographs with some of these beautiful colors that tie in with the colors of the flowers that I did. So as I mentioned also in the live, I decided to stitch all these flowers the same, which was basically fill every single hole and leave no gaps or anything like that, because it being a stitch file, you could be so much more creative with the flowers. You don't have to have them completely full, if that makes sense. See how every single flower's got like 2 circles? You didn't have to do that. You could have just done little half circles around the petals or what have you, but I just decided I was going to keep them all the same because it took less brain power and I could stitch without having to concentrate. Simple as that, really. And I did 3 flowers in every color, so 3 green, 3 orange, 3 yellow, so on and so forth, except I think there are 4 purple. There was 1 extra flower. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed choosing the 3 different colors. The light to dark sort of ombre effect of the 3 different colors was really fun. And I really enjoy doing stitch files like that. It's something I find I can do without having to turn on the camera. I can sit in front of the TV. I can, take it in the car with me, whatever. And I don't have to be recording every single bit of the process, because that is one of the downsides of having your scrapbook channel. I feel like I can't sit down and scrapbook without having the camera on, because I need the videos all the time to be scheduled up on the channel. I don't make that many scrapbook pages to be able to not be recording when I am scrapbooking. And sometimes the pressure to always have the camera on is a little bit draining. Sometimes I'd like to just sit down and make just for myself. But as I said, I don't scrapbook enough to be able to do that and still be able to release 2 videos a week. And then we go crazy like this and do 1 every day. So crazy. We've got our advent calendar coming up in December. So pretty much as soon as this is finished, October and November will be spent getting December ready. I actually find that harder than this month. September's easier because they're just 12 layouts or 15 layouts, so it's not so challenging to come up with different things. But with December daily, or not December daily, sorry, our advent calendar, I could do other things as well. So excuse me. So I do find it challenging to think of 12 different things, and I also need to come up with a few things that we haven't done before. Try and invent something interesting that I think will be useful to Katie, but that I haven't already made her before. So yeah, I wonder what that will be. So I'm just about finished here because, as you knew, this was just such a simple and quick layout. Photos are on. When I look at them from up above here, it looks like I've almost cut Tom's head off in the photograph on the left, but in real life it doesn't look so covered. Yeah, it's so funny when you see it from a different angle. So I do need to do a title. I did wonder and ah about a title. I almost left one off completely because I wasn't even sure how or where to put it, but decided I would do one and was just being a little bit lazy and went for a word phrase. But I could not find a single word phrase that really went with the layout, color-wise, or even just the words that it said. Some of them were okay, but then they were too massive, or they'll be like bright sparkly green or something like that. So I ended up just going with the word magical from this collection here, and they're kind of wood grain thickers, and I don't think I have used those wood grain thickers as normal without altering them yet. Oh, actually, yes, I have one time, which I just find really amusing. I've always altered these thickers by maybe using just colouring them in black or adding some embossing them or anything. But this time I've just grabbed a gold, one of those liquid markers, a gold liquid marker, and I'm colouring it, the entire word in gold. It works really, really well. The only section that did not work that well was the stick of the G, and that was just me being in a hurry and not colouring it carefully. The rest worked really, really well. I couldn't be bothered getting out the embossing powder, which I probably would do next time, having said that. But I really love the effect of this letter. In fact, I make it better because I did decide that the gold looked a little bit flat as it was. I make it better by getting out the dimensional magic, and that is magic. That just really gives it its own special look. So I've coloured this all in. I was going to do a second layer, but it didn't layer on top. It just pushed the paint around a bit more. So I've stopped that. And then I pull out the dimensional magic and I layer that all over the whole word as well. And when it dries, it looks spot on. I definitely am going to need to buy some more of this dimensional magic. It has been in my cupboard for I don't know how long, and I'm only just remembering to love it again. So I've been using it quite a bit lately. It's really easy to put on. It's winter over here in Australia, so it does take a little bit of time to dry, but I was basically finished the rest of this layout anyway, so I just left it overnight to dry. It certainly doesn't take that long, but I just could. There was no drama doing that. And then it's hard as a nail the next day, so no worry about smudging or anything. I contemplated putting dimensional magic over the hearts to make them pop and be a little bit more like enamel dots, but I changed my mind. So this is the next day. It is completely dry, but I'm thinking I need something else to go with the magical, and I'm going to put some of these tiny word stickers with it as well. I love these. I should have bought like 1 million packets. I am obsessed with them. I use them all the time. So while the magical word was drying, I ummed and ahed overnight about what I could do to just make the word magical sort of tie in with the layout a little bit better. And it's like, magic, this magical day, this magical moment, a magical moment, magical little boy. Like I was just coming up with as many different things as I could with the word magical in them, and just ended up going with my magical boy. Really simple, but I think that for me that worked a little bit better than just the word magical. So I think in a sec I definitely show you in the close-ups and in the photo what the word magical looks like with the beautiful shiny finish. Because I don't know if I hold it up to you or not. I'm fiddling around with it, that's for sure. What am I even doing? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so you can see how beautiful and shiny it's gone, and it just looks awesome. So I'm going to add... Oh, I know what I'm doing. When I tried to pull it off that piece of plastic I had, some of the sticky came off and some of the sticky didn't. So I ended up just pulling all of the sticky off. So it's now just a piece of chipboard, and applying it to my layout with glue, which I actually think in the long term is better because I would have been going over top of thread. By adding the glue, it will actually adhere it to the thread as well. So I think that was an accidental win because I think that's going to make it stick better for longevity. So awesome. And then just sticking down my and boy, and then I will cut through to some close-ups. So a really simple layout. As I mentioned, pop down into the description box. I've got links to Khristina's page, where you'll see her Instagram page, and you can also see her channel, and she's just got so much happening on her page. You definitely should pop over and see her if you haven't already, and you want to watch this video anyway, so hey, get on over. I've also got a playlist down below with all of the videos so far. Are you playing along? Are you joining in? Have you done any of the prompts? You certainly don't have to join in and do all 30, but have you done any? Have you done one? Have you done two? Let me know what caught your attention. What prompt did you enjoy? Is it helping you bash some of your stash at home? So here are my close-up photographs. I'm really thrilled with how this turned out. It was totally worth the stitching time because obviously that did take a little while, but it looks really fabulous, so I'm really happy with it. I hope you are enjoying our series so far, and stay tuned for another video tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Bye.